Hey guys, the Chosen Paladin here, bringing you a new Fallout topic. I know this might be looking into the far future, but we're going to talk about Fallout 5 today. Or the next Fallout in the series. I don't know if it's Fallout 5 or what. There has been rumors for Fallout New Orleans or Fallout New Vegas 2, but I'm not going to believe it until I see it. This video is about some predictions and everything in between. So without any further ado, we're going to start off with locations. Some of the locations I think would be best for the next Fallout is I would love Fallout New Orleans or Florida, just get the whole state in there, because that gives you a different style map. It's more of a watery map. You got the bayous, you got the cities, you got a bit of everything, the swamps. It would, in my opinion, it might be a mix between Point Lookout and Far Harbor, which I think would be interesting, having that danger around every corner. And the factions there, you still have your tribes, which would be interesting because with the deep roots of voodoo, that would give you a whole new feature to play with. For Bethesda to mess around with the voodoo powers. I'm not saying give your person power, but tribes that believe in it, like in look out the yucca plant or whatever it was called. It's not coming to me. I think it's yucca. But anyways, how if you did that mission, you got the pores in your eyes and you hallucinated and seen your mother's skeletons, a big bobblehead, stuff like that. That would be interesting. Then you have mutated alligators, could throw in death claws. There's a bit of everything down in Florida, which I think would be extremely fun to play with. And then another location, which is highly unlikely, but something I would love that would make a lot of sense to me, is Fallout, Montana. I know that you guys would think, why in the hell should we choose Montana? But here is why I think we should, and why it would make sense with the lore and storyline. One, Montana, in the real life, is one of the bigger, it's like, what, the third, fifth biggest state? I could be wrong there, but it's one of the larger states in land mass, which gives you plenty of room to mess with. We have lots of national parks in Montana. We have Glacier National Park, we have Yellowstone National Park, and we have Lewis and Clark National Forest, and a bunch of other things. But how it could mess around with the lore and Fallout and stay all together with the story is that Montana has one of the biggest nuclear bases in the States. The Air Force runs Malmstrom Air Force Base. We have a lot of reserve Army Guard down here. And there's a lot you can mess with that stuff. We have plenty of wildlife. I mean, I live in the middle of town, and sometimes I see a wild turkey out my window. But anyways, that gives you wild animals, turkeys, rabbits, deer, elk, moose, bison, bears. There's a lot. Mountain lions, bobcats, wolves. You have the full 9 yards when it comes to animals you can mutate and have fun with. Antelope, rock stags, rattlesnakes, a bunch of stuff they used and haven't used before, which would be interesting. And DLC wise, there's a lot you could do with DLC for Montana. I mean, you could leave the national park for like Glacier and Yellowstone out of it and add it in a DLC, which would be amazing. Would the super volcano under Yellowstone explode, or would it still be fine in the Fallout universe? That's the thing they could play with a new DLC. Glacier National Park, that'd be different. Is it completely melted? Is it still there? Stuff you could always play with. I mean, I would love to see a Fallout in Montana. Another fun Fallout would be Hawaii. It would be a little bit different since it would be a smaller map and island-based. I can't imagine too much for it like I can Montana. I haven't put much thought to it. But I think Fallout Hawaii would be pretty fun. Now, go on with things I wish they'd incorporate from some of the older games and things I wish they'd leave out. So I'm going to start by telling you guys, I personally like Fallout 3 the best. I haven't played any of the older Fallouts yet. I need to get a better gaming computer to do that. I don't even have a gaming computer. I have a laptop, but that laptop is slower than, I don't know, it's just super slow. Anyways, I hope they incorporate the same music they did in Fallout, or all of the Fallouts, to be honest. 3, New Vegas, and 4. They need to bring back 3 Dog as a DJ, or someone as good as 3 Dog. I did not like Mr. New Vegas. I know he was a famous actor, radio guy. And then Fallout 4, the radio was just disappointing. Not the music, but the guy playing it. That's not anything towards a voice actor who played as, what's his name, Denny, or whatever the guy's name is. But they could have done it so much better. I was annoyed by the radio, both before and after you could get the quest to make it better. Fallout 3, I loved it. It just sounded right. 3 Dog was a disc jockey, told you the news, made it interesting, joked around. It was fun. It was interesting. Mr. New Vegas had a deep voice. It was more of a radio voice, but not as fun or interesting as 3 Dog. I'd like to see them add a little bit of Dean Martin in there, Louis Armstrong, along with everyone else, the Ink Spots, just everyone else they've had. They could only add more, I think. Make it more. Add more to add to the pot. Keep all the old stuff, add more. I just love that type of music. Dion, all those guys. What I like from each of the older games, which I wish they'd incorporate. So from Fallout 3, I like the depressed feeling, how you left the vault and it felt depressing. Like you step outside and the first thing you see is destroyed DC. I like that a lot. Plus the story behind the Vault Dweller is a lot better than Fallout 4. Because Fallout 4, you're not given the choice to make your background. You're just handed to it. You were a soldier, got frozen, now your wife got killed, you need to find your son. In the Vault, you're just a kid growing up. And you can decide from that young age, from your birthday party on up, whether you're going to be a brat or a good guy or how that works. With the Courier, you don't know anything about your background except for you were a mailman who got shot in the head. But from Fallout 3, I like the openness of the creativity the player could have. Like me and you, how we can make our own background for that, for the Vault Dweller. The Courier is pretty decent, and then Fallout 4 just completely narrowed it down. I do like the style of the weapons in Fallout 3 and New Vegas, the look of them. Fallout 4 kind of took it away and made it a little bit more cartoony, in my opinion, for some of them. Definitely keep aiming down the sights, like you did in New Vegas and Fallout 4. The gun customization was alright, but I wish they had more variety of guns like they did in Fallout 3 and New Vegas. I do like how in Fallout New Vegas, the craftsmanship of building a gun, I thought that was well made, well done. The way they made it in Fallout 4 almost felt a little bit too easy to get the supplies. I mean, you get the few perks and you're done. Crafting system in Fallout 4 was good, but don't make it such a priority. Anyways, I'm jumping ahead of myself. In Fallout 3, something else they nailed was the karma system. You did good things, people treated you differently. You did bad things, people feared you. And it had a lot of difference what you could do and couldn't do with the karma differences. That is one of the best parts. I mean, you get perks based on your karma. High enough karma, you become a regulator, they give you the duster. You go collect fingers of bad guys and turn in for caps. I mean, you can't beat that. And I liked how there is danger around every corner in Fallout 3. You get attacked by the Talon Company, you step out of vault, and you don't know if there's going to be a rad scorpion waiting for you or what. It just felt like there was danger around every corner. New Vegas did that a little bit with the Legion attack parties and stuff, but it wasn't as dangerous feeling as it should have been like they did in Fallout 3. 4 just completely missed that. The lore behind 3 and New Vegas is amazing. I mean, try going into any building in Fallout 3 and not finding some Easter egg or lore behind it. Every little side quest, like Agartha's violin quest, that's very touching. Like, her husband made that violin before he died, and you could find it for her and give her a different violin, and she'll play and she'll thank you, and you get a Blackhawk. I think that's the variant name of a 44 Magnum that's scoped. And it's just amazing, all the different little side quests you could do. What Fallout 3 and 4 were lacking were the choices between alliances, which Fallout New Vegas did really well. As I give props to New Vegas for that. I think you should be able to choose and pick between alliances more. Fallout 4 did it decently. I didn't feel like it felt right though. Like, you help out the Brotherhood of Steel and the Minutemen don't hate you until you have to go in there and kill them, which I felt like it forced your hand. I wish there was an independent way of doing it, like you could do it in New Vegas, where you side with nobody or you side with the people you want, and they'll become friends. You could talk to make alliances with like the NCR and Brotherhood of Steel, stuff like that. Now with Fallout 3 and New Vegas, I like the dialogue style where you see the whole text and you could pick it. And Fallout 4, they ruined it. I know they wanted to try out the shorter, like sarcastic, serious stuff like that. I wasn't a big fan of that at all. I know a lot of people out there aren't. I don't mind the voice protagonist at all. I think it's pretty alright. It didn't take away from the game for me too much. I like the idea of keeping it to the player's imagination. Like, I always imagined my dude having a deep voice, like maybe like Morgan Freeman or Ron Perlman or whatever. I thought that I like that freedom, but then again, I don't mind the voice protagonist. Something that they haven't done yet, but I want them to, which is very, very nitpicky of me, is how in like Battlefield 1 you look down and you see yourself. I think that would be a cool thing to add, because I want to feel like I'm there in first person, so if you get knocked over or something, I want to be able to see your arm fall in front of you or look down while you're crouching and see yourself move. I think that'd add to the realism a lot more. I like how realistic and flowing Fallout 4 was in the combat style, minus the criticals. The criticals ruined it for me. I liked how in Fallout 3 and New Vegas they were randomized. Like, you'd have to shoot a lot to get a critical. And it would happen randomly. You wouldn't be like, hit, oh, big guy, critical. You'd pray a critical would come when those Deathclaws ran after you. What else? I hope Fallout 5 has we're just gonna call it Fallout 5. I hope Fallout 5 has a lot more lore than Fallout 4, because that was lacking so much. I felt like they worked on the characters and companions, which was all fine and dandy. Fallout 4 nailed that. I like the companions in every game. They didn't do too bad in 3 or New Vegas. I like how there's more quest options to do with them in New Vegas and 4 than there was 3. But they were all good. Anyways, the lore behind behind everything in Fallout 4 felt lacking. I mean, the Brotherhood of Steel from DC. All it said was Elder Lyons died and Sarah fell in combat. I want to know more how she fell in combat and who still has the old ideals and what happened to DC, the DC Brotherhood and all that stuff. I want to be able to go into a building and see what the story behind that building is. Fallout 4 was lacking in that, and I hope they do a lot better in Fallout 5 about that. Fallout New Vegas has a decent amount of lore. Fallout 3 is a goldmine of lore. I do like the random strange encounters you could have in Fallout 3 and New Vegas. I mean, Fallout 3 has an Alien DLC, which I loved. It didn't take me out of place. A lot of people, I think, would feel like that would make the game too cartoony, too stupid, too unrealistic. I think it would add I like that twist. They did it in Fallout New Vegas, with the Wild Wasteland perk you could pick, and there's a alien encounter. But Fallout 3, I liked a lot about that. New Vegas, it worked with a Wasteland, Wild Wasteland perk, but what I don't like about that is it gave you some things and took away others. I don't feel like you should be restricted from being able to choose any game style and get what you want. Uh, Fallout 5, what I really want from Fallout 5 is a larger map, more lore, more weapons than Fallout 4, and just more options and all, more freedom in a way. And now for predictions in Fallout 5. I predict that Enclave are going to make a comeback. I'm going to guess the NCR, Brotherhood of Steel, and Enclave are going to be the big three alliances you could pick from. There's going to be a Minuteman-esque type alliance where they're pretty neutral. It's going to be like Minuteman or Mr. House alliance. You could go with the Yes Man alliance. I'd like to be able to weed through different alliances more, completely destroy some, build some up. I wish you could do that more. Like, Fallout New Vegas tried that, and it was alright. I mean, you could side with the boomers and get them to help you with a great battle, stuff like that, which is all fine. I hope the alliance system is a lot better in Fallout 5 than it was in Fallout 3, which they made a lot of progress since then, so I'm sure it will be. Something that Bethesda is not good at, I'm sorry to tell you, Bethesda, but especially for Fallouts, is their ending. Fallout 3, to continue after the ending, you have to buy DLC. I love the honorable ending where it's like, oh crap, my dad died for this project. I need to go in, either help everyone by making the water purified, or the way the Enclave would look at it, help everybody by poisoning the water to kill all mutations. I'm with the help everybody by purifying it part. But anyways, honorable ending. Courier, you just come to a complete circle. You find the guy who killed you. You could either kill him or free him. And then you find an alliance and learn that the platinum chip is this reason behind everything. And you have to fight a great battle, and it ends. No DLC, nothing can fix the ending. You're just stunned. Fallout 4, you have to play through all the way up, and you could pick the different alliances, but at the end you have to nuke something. And that, I don't really enjoy Fallout 4's ending a lot. I like how you can continue after it without the DLC. That's one thing I do like, but other than that, there's not much to the ending. It's like, find your son, help your son, kill your son, boom. You destroy the Institute or you don't. No in between, which I didn't like. So I hope that in Fallout 5, the story is a lot better than all the Fallouts, the older Fallouts. Fallout 3, like I said, I like the story. Fallout New Vegas, I like it, not as much as 3, and Fallout 4, just no. So I hope Fallout 5 gets the story right, and they get a good ending where you can continue and see the difference you made. In Fallout 3 with the DLC, you could start seeing the difference. Ironically, in Fallout New Vegas, you see more of the difference from Fallout 3 than you do in Fallout New Vegas after that ending. You don't see anything. In Fallout 5 or 4, I haven't seen much of a difference, except for I went with the Brotherhood, except now I don't see the Institute as much. You see random synths running around from time to time. Like I said, Fallout 4 was a bit of a disappointment for me. Gameplay was fine, graphics was amazing, honorable ideas with the voice actor and all that stuff, but not their best. The power armor was amazing in Fallout 3 and New Vegas. I hate how big and bulky it is, and the fusion cores and all that stuff you needed for Fallout 4. I just didn't like it. I did like the whole customization part of Fallout 4. That was nice. Like I said, don't pull another Preston Garvey and make a big chunk of Fallout 5 about making settlements. Yeah, be able to make settlements, recruit people to help you out, stuff like that. That's fine, just don't make it such a big deal. Anyways, to sum up why I want Fallout 5 is more freedom, more faction choices, more the dialogue from Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, bigger landmass, more lore, and everything else I talked about before I start repeating myself. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. This is The Chosen Paladin. Leave your thoughts and comments below where you think Fallout 5 or whatever they're going to call it is going to take place, and what you liked and didn't like about the older Fallouts. Thank you for watching, and peace.